Hey folks, it's Tommy Frugal Prepper. I'm driving back from Mansfield and just setting the cruise and taking it easy. So I want to talk a little bit about mobile mechanicking. I've gotten a lot of questions. I think people kind of found some of my videos lately because I had a brake bleeder extraction video that really took off in the algorithms. And so if I have to hear acetone and transmission fluid one more time, I'll tell you. You know, when stuff's seized up like that, it doesn't matter what you spray on it. I mean, just getting it a little wet is all that's going to help. You know, none of it does very much, and been my experience. And it's also just been like none of it works very well. And maybe if you let it soak for 4 days, it'll work. I don't have time for that. I need to get it done and get it out. And man, if I hear people say like, well, I don't see why you don't. I've heard like, I don't see why you just don't replace the caliper because you just not that time to do that. Like, number one, I have it out in the vise because I'm doing a video and it's easier to show it that way. But it can be done on the car, and it literally, I did 2 of them in like a 20-minute video, and that's taking the time to video and showing. It takes 5 to 10 minutes to extract a brake bleeder. If there's nothing else wrong with that caliper and it's not hung and it works, then don't replace it. Just replace the bleeder. And I've had other people be like, well, you should just get a rebuild kit. Now that is a waste of time, right? It'll take longer for me to go buy a new caliper than it will to extract a bleeder. But yeah, if there's something wrong with the caliper, I replace it. And those calipers in those videos, then people are like, well, those calipers just look really awful. There's no reason you should replace those. I did replace those. Those were old calipers that I was taking to the junkyard that I was using as a demonstration on extracting a bleeder. But anyway, I want to talk a little bit about mobile mechanicking, like what I do, what I use. So, some things that you need to know. One is you do legally need to worry about your tax situation. So you need to pay taxes on the money that you earn, and you need to check your state's local tax laws as far as use taxes. So that I'm just going to leave it at that, and it's different in every state. See if you have to pay sales tax on labor, tax on parts that you mark up, that kind of thing. The other thing I get asked about a lot is insurance. So I'm not insured. I tell people that I'm not insured. And so that would be something good to do at some point. So you got to be careful that you don't mess up. You know, I'm doing this just occasionally in my driveway, my garage, and going out and doing it mobily to make some extra money. Number 3, be very selective about your customers, right? So you want customers that are going to understand, and you have a clear understanding that they're, you know, you don't want to do somebody's brakes and then have them coming back saying, oh, my window doesn't roll down since he worked on my car, you know. So do a small job for a customer and get a feel for how they are, and don't be afraid to say no if it doesn't go well. Just be like, I'm sorry, you lost your driveway privileges, right? I feel that I do good work. I do the best job I can always. I'm honest with people, and I charge very fair prices. And if people aren't happy with that, they feel free to go to a shop, you know. And I always try to make things right if I do mess something up, like as right as I can make it, you know. You will make mistakes, and you will have to fix them. So as far, another question I've gotten a lot is, how do I get access to my Chilton's repair software? So I get that through my local library. My local library makes that available online to anybody that's a member. In fact, anywhere in Ohio. You can also get it through Pennsylvania. Michigan has their own e-library. They use Automate. And Pennsylvania, I believe, uses Automate. But you can sign up for a e-library card. You just have to tell them you're in Pennsylvania. So you could just make up a name like John Smith. And I live in Erie, Pennsylvania. and you register, and then you can sign in and use it. You'll get an e-library card number. So that might be another way you could get into it. But just check your local library first. A lot of libraries used to carry a whole bunch of Haynes and Chilton's manuals, but now they're just doing the online thing. They pay a monthly price or whatever, and all the members have access. And some places also have like Mitchell on demand, but you have to go in the library to use it or be connected to their network to use it. So it's not available just online. I've also been asked, let me think something I've been asked about. I've had people ask me, like, they're thinking about doing it. Do they think they can make money doing oil changes? There is no real money in an oil change. It's probably not even a break-even proposition. If I consider what I charge to do an oil change and the time it takes to jack the car up, change the oil, do all that, set it back down, I could have brought another car in behind it at $50 for that hour, right? And I'm probably making $10 or $12 profit. But it's a good time to look over the car, let the customer know if there's anything else wrong. And I also like to do it because I know it's done right for my customer. I've had so many times that people take their cars to oil change places, they strip out the oil drain plug, either strip it off on the outside or actually strip the threads out so the oil pan has to be changed. A lot of these oil change places now are only topping it off to the minimum mark so they can save money on oil rather than topping it all the way off. I've seen oil filters not be changed. I've seen partial drains and refills. I've seen it all. So a lot of times for my good regular customers especially, I will do an oil change for them. I try to do them while I have the car for something else anyway. But that's just one of those things that you need to do and understand that you can't charge for all your time all the time, right? I typically charge flat rate for my repairs, right? So here's the thing. As somebody that's doing this myself, I charge $50 an hour for most flat rate repairs by the book. And usually I round that number off to the nearest half hour. So if it's 2.3, it's going to be 2.5. If it's 2.7, it's going to be 3. And vice versa, if it's 2.1, it's going to be 2, right? And so it's typically what I charge for things like brake line repairs, right? Where you're going to be fighting rusty, crusty brake lines, running, bending, flaring. I charge $50 per actual hour that I spend working on it. Just because it's a labor-intensive process sometimes. And there's no way to know how long it's going to take you, and there is no book time for it. Now, I don't understand how guys that work for other shops actually make a living. I don't get it. I get, like, if you get really good and you've been doing it a long time, you could crank it out and make some money. But for most guys, by the time you pay for your toolbox, all your tools, scan tools, and then you're getting, 20% or something of what the shop charges? But you're making like $20 per hour or less, and only when you're wrenching and actually doing a job, only for the book time, not actual time. I charge $50 an hour. I keep it all. Why isn't everybody a mobile mechanic? I don't understand. I guess it sucks sometimes having to go and work in the dirt and gravel. But sometimes you just gotta suck it up and put on your big boy pants and go get it done. But I don't do a ton of mobile mechanicing, only when I need to. Like my customer's stranded with a bad starter or a broken belt, that kind of stuff. But I try to get cars over to my garage, my driveway, where I have most of my tools. What do I do about like big jobs? Like, I don't swap transmissions. I don't swap engines. I have other places that I refer that work to. I don't do alignments. I have a place to refer that to. I don't do exhaust repair. I have another place that I refer that to. So I pick the jobs that I can do, And my customers are perfectly understanding that I'm just a dude working in my garage in my driveway and working sometimes out of a little toolbox in the back of my truck. And they understand that I can't do everything, right? They might have to sometimes still go to a shop. But I have good relationships with these local shops. They know me, they know who I am. I'll be like, take it in there and tell them, Tom told you to bring it there. So, yeah, I don't do glass replacement. There's a glass shop in town that I refer that all to. That does great work, very affordable. And so, don't be afraid to talk to local shops too and be like, hey, if I bring you a big job, can you give me a 5% or 10% referral fee? You go out and find the customers for them and send them in. Like tire repair and tire changes, I have a place I refer that to. So, I do a lot of brakes. And I'm doing more and more. So for most cars, I usually charge 100 to 150 labor for all four. Trucks go a little higher than that, maybe 200, 250. And I buy the brakes from a place on eBay called Brake Motive. Excellent brakes. You can get them zinc plated, drilled, slotted. You can get regular ones, you can get ceramic, you can get organic, you can choose everything. But typical, like, what did I do? Oh, I'm getting ready to do a Hyundai Sonata, I think. Rotors, ceramic pads, and brake hardware all the way around was $109. I'm going to throw 100 labor in with that because it's an easy car to do brakes on. And they're going to be out the door with all new brakes all the way around, ceramic pads for $209. No shop can touch that. And I'm happy. It takes me hour to hour and a half to do them all. It's pulling it off, cleaning it, wire brushing everything down, lubing the slide pins, new hardware, putting it all back together. I'll take that all day long. If I can crank 7 of those out a day, man, that's like $700 a day at $100 a pop. I could easily crank out 7 a day. I do keep some common parts in stock. Some of the parts, I also keep used parts in stock. So the other big advantage to mobile mechanicing is the way I do it. I can go take a look at it in their driveway. I can go diagnose it and be like, you got a bad starter. It's a confirmed diagnosis, it's a bad starter. We can get one at AutoZone right now. The cheapest rebuilt one they have is $170. But I can get you these Chinese ones I get on eBay from this company that I've used a lot, that I've got no problems with, and they're $45. Free shipping, and it'll be here in 2 days. Well, if that car was sitting in my garage on my lift, I can't do that. I can't make that offer to the customer because it's tying up my lift in my garage. And even if I get it off, it's tying up my parking lot. When it's sitting in their driveway, I don't have to worry about that. It's a huge advantage that you can offer your customers. You can get them much lower prices on parts. And even if you're buying like a genuine Remy or Delco starter or alternator or whatever, man, you can still get that stuff way cheaper online than you can get it at the dealership. So some people want genuine Delco parts, and I think it's great. And I'll be like, you can get it for $130 less if you get it on Amazon. Throttle bodies are a good example. GMs, I only put Delco throttle bodies back on. I don't do the aftermarket crap. I've had trouble with every time I've done aftermarket GM throttle body, I have problems. So, but it's like $150 cheaper on Amazon than it is to go to the dealership. Another thing I get asked about is, should I get a vendor's license? So when you're buying from Advanced Auto Parts, you get the dealer discount. Heck no. Because if you go into the advanced checkout to do the online ordering with the store pickup, you just type in coupon 25 for a discount code and you get 25% off. You won't get that much off as a shop. You'll pay more as a shop than you'll pay as a customer using the coupon code. And then you get Speed Perks points back, so you get $5 or $10 off. Like, it just keeps recycling. So you're always getting that extra money off. So I think a vendor's license is kind of a waste. In some states, you have to get a vendor's license to set up your sales tax. If you're doing sales tax, you might have to have a vendor's license. That doesn't mean you have to use it. And check your state. Some states, if you pay tax when you bought the part, even if you mark it up, you don't have to charge tax again. So, some states is tax on the difference, which would be a nightmare. I just write up all of my invoices and do all of my accounting in Excel. So, I just do up the invoice, give that to the customer. When they pay, I put like paid, a check number, and a check number, or I do accept personal checks from some customers. The ones that I can trust that their checks are good. I've not had a bad check yet, so, or I do pay with my Square for debit credit cards, or cash. Cash is always king, right? But then when I do my taxes, I have all those invoices lined up. And so once they pay, I just go rename the file name. I put in parentheses paid. So I know that's a paid one. You will occasionally run into the customer that needed some unexpected repairs that will tell you to go ahead or something. They'll come up and be like, hey, I just had this big electric bill. So if it's your regular customers, that's probably okay. But if it's not a regular customer, man, good luck. Usually once that car leaves your driveway, they're not coming back. Trying to think anything else. Just, don't compete with the shops that are around you. You go do your thing. You do your own thing. You build up your customers, your relationships. And they'll just kind of come out of the woodwork. It'll start slow. But then car you fixed will know somebody else's car is broke. And they'll be like, hey, I know a guy. And it'll just start to go. And like I said, there's a 3 to 4 week waiting list probably right now to get into my driveway to get work done. So I can work all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and every night after work. And I have been. So I'm usually going home. I'm working until 11 o'clock at night. And then I'm going in, getting a shower, getting cleaned up, maybe eating something, getting to bed by midnight. I'm back up at 6:30 to go out and do my gardening real quick in the morning and get ready and go to work at my regular job. So, but, I'm working to make money, and that's what I'm doing. So anyway, I guess I'm just going to go ahead and drive. I still got, a good hour and so to get back to my hometown. Get ready to come through Columbus here soon. Alright, I'll talk to y'all later. This is Tom, your frugal prepper. Be happy, be frugal, enjoy life, count your blessings, and just be thankful for what you have.